Where's my ear at?
Yay!
I'll just do sharing while you guys chat. Okay?
We're live!
So
hi, everybody. Kii-Chan lost an ear. No!
Headphones don't work with cosplay. Just saying, like.
Okay.
They gotta definitely make some sort of like, that should be some sort of invention. Maybe we need to look into that.
Just I'm sending you that selfie so you can put it up on cosplay.
I'm representing the Video Invaders exhibit today. I'm not wearing a cosplay. I'm representing the exhibit that my costume's at.
I'm Miranda.
I'm a cactus.
I'm a cactus.
I'm
sleepy.
I'm a potato.
You guys.
So, hi everybody. We are currently, well, half of us, or actually
3/5.
3/5?
4/5.
Okay, we're in a cabin, and then we've got Kii-Chan over here.
Yay!
And we've got the other half of ThermoCosplay, Brite props, and Jinx down here.
Sorry, I've gotta do sharing on the same computer that we're streaming on, so you guys ignore me looking like.
I have the best internet for the first time probably ever on the screen.
Are you looking really like weird?
Oh yeah, you're really choppy back there. Like there's lots of stop and go from my side.
Yeah, Kii-Chan over here.
Yay!
Mute.
Okay. Echoing.
Sorry. Okay.
She can't hear you if you're muted.
No, I muted the video.
All right.
Are we super choppy or are we okay?
You cleared up a little bit. For a minute there, it was a little sketchy.
Okay.
Okay. Hopefully we're good.
Yeah, we're out in the friggin' mountains, so
why don't you turn and show where we are, Sam? Ta-da.
There's actual trees.
Dun, dun, dun.
All our Phoenix people are like, what are those? Why are they so tall?
What's so green?
Why don't they have needles on them?
What's
I don't
going
understand.
Well, they do have needles, just different kinds.
That's true. They have pine needles.
Yeah.
Nerdy plant joke for the win.
So if you guys didn't know, our topic today, we don't really have a topic, so we're just going to kind of chat. You guys can ask us any questions that you want, and we can cover things maybe in the past that you wanted to know or wanted to know more about. So why don't we start with our intros? Kii-Chan, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Hello, everyone. I'm the Pacific Northwest cosplayer. I'm Kii-Chan Cosplay, or a Tiny Rain Cloud online. I've been kind of quiet lately, but I'm definitely much more of a con goer. I'm a panelist. I'm a judge. I'm a performer. I do all the stuff at cons, but now that I'm home, I'm like, do I build? How do I build? Do I do? But I am cosplaying in honor of the last episode of Critical Role airing last week. I'm Kaliana from Mighty Nine. I've been wanting to do this cosplay for a long time. It just sucks because you can't really. I did an hour worth of makeup today, and you really can't tell I did. But it's so exciting. First time I've dressed up in actual dress up in like almost 2 months, so it felt good. Serotonin.
All right.
That's awesome.
Who's next? Sam, go ahead.
Yep. Sam from ThermoCosplay, and you guys know I've been cosplaying for a while, 2014 or so. So, hi.
Okay, okay, someone else go.
Okay, I'll go. Hi guys, I'm Amber Brite Props. That's Brite, like Rainbow Brite. I am a professional prop maker in Phoenix. I've been cosplaying for a bit as well since 2013 or 2014 myself. And I do a lot of aliens and Star Wars stuff and nerdy video game stuff.
Yay.
So,
Lena?
Snorlax.
I am Lena, aka the other half or part of Thermo Cosplay, and I technically have somewhat of an online presence as Thermo Sidekick, but really just check out Thermo Cosplay because I am a lazy cosplayer, and it's not just because I'm wearing Snorlax. I really enjoy seeing people, but the online part of it just doesn't do a lot for me, unfortunately. But I still like seeing you guys. And if you see me at a con, I'm usually the one that has like all the extra supplies and likes to play con mom. So if you need like glue or extra needle and thread or something has fallen apart and you see me, be like, help me, Lena. And I'll be like, I got you. I got you. I guess I have to do it with this because I don't have a phone.
And hi guys, I'm Jessica from Jinx Cosplay. I've been cosplaying since 2001. I do a lot of mostly like video game stuff, and I also do whatever Sam tells me to. So there you go.
I think that's most of us. Sam's
Yeah.
like, we're doing this, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. I think last year for Sabaton, Sam was like, we're doing Sailor Moon group, and you're Sailor Moon. Just get a wig. And I'm like, okay. And then
Mom.
I showed up and Sam's like, and here's the other half of your cosplay. And I'm like, okay.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, it was like just just get a wig and a pink dress. And
Yeah,
then,
you gave me the link to the dress too. And I was just like, all right, if
Get
I
this,
just have
this,
to buy
this,
stuff, I'm in. But
Done.
I mean, I think that's a great like segue into one of the core cool things about cosplay, but also the core like difficulties of cosplay is how different everyone's reasons for cosplaying and everyone's preferred cosplay style is.
Yeah.
Like, for example, it's my full-time job. Like between Patreon, OnlyFans, my prop work and stuff like that, my entire life is cosplay. But I know so many people who are like, I don't want to monetize this. I want to do it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't think that like one is more legit
than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can make money off of what you love, that's always the goal. I think.
Mhm.
It's like a double-edged sword, right? Because like I get to cosplay all day, but then a lot of the time when I come down to deciding what cosplays I'm going to do, one of the things I have to talk about is, can I monetize this?
Yeah.
Like getting to cosplay just for fun is not something I do that much anymore.
Mhm. Yeah,
like
so
I
you
enjoy
do have to-
cosplay, so it's
You do
fun.
have to balance it off though, obviously, like when you make it your job.
Yeah. So I have to look at it and be like, okay, how much money can I really sink into this because I need to make money off of it.
Yeah.
So
Where most people have their their money job or
income.
We drank a bit last night, guys. Sorry, my brain's still not like correct, like full. It's not a full brain. Fuck.
It's a good brain. We like it.
But you know what I mean? Like they have their job to support their hobby.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And then of course spending the money they can justify it because that's their hobby.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Sorry, brain. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like you don't do much with the online stuff.
Nope.
Whereas like yesterday I was like hustling because I'm like, I'm in this like just thrown together cosplay, but I still need to get selfies and TikToks and stuff like
Yeah, because
that.
you can definitely you want to get as much as you can out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one TikTok from Loki because I was like too shaky, but it's fine.
Even though
I saw it. It looked good. I like jumped on my TikTok, and you were like the first one that popped up, and I'm like, yay!
I got videos that you could use to upload to TikTok.
Yes, I'm counting on that.
I just the connection on
No,
not
I'm
very
on
good, so I
Wi-Fi.
can't transfer very
Flooding
easily.
on Wi-Fi.
Still not on my okay.
Like,
I mean, I was just telling these guys, life's been crazy, and I just don't have the energy to do cosplay. And so today is like the first day. I got up, I spent an hour putting my makeup on, and I actually filmed some TikToks for the first time in forever. And so it felt really good. And I forgot how hard it was to film TikToks because it's not as easy as just like holding your phone. You're like, okay, well, I need to put the phone here and decide if I'm going to use a filter, and then
doing any transitions.
yeah, oh god.
The sound. Yeah.
I did like the most basic. I didn't have anything prepared. I didn't have anything ready. I'm like, Critical Role theme song. Boom, done. We're great.
See, I mean, like obviously, like hobbies are supposed to, be something you love, and it does happen where people do get stressed out of their own hobbies, and that means just gotta step back and take a break.
Yeah.
Because if you just keep forcing yourself to do it, you're gonna eventually hate it and never want to do it again.
And like,
So-
if your motivation is the cosplay or the aspect of cosplay that you're most excited about is being with other cosplayers, like this year has definitely put a dent in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we that's why we're here in the forest now, because we haven't been together in so long, and like let's just go to a cabin and just take pictures of each other.
Go
And all-
vaccines.
and all the locals
We love
saw us.
vaccines.
Look at all
Hopefully we can come see you in December, Kii-Chan.
I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully things will be better enough. I would love to see everyone again. I miss my con family. Like
Mhm.
We'll just
It's-
have you. We'll be like, so we got a space. We made you a bed.
I don't even need a bed. I just need a corner. Just like throw a pillow over there. I'll be fine.
One of those big sleeping bags.
Were we just talking about con rooms where you order extra pillows because somebody's sleeping on the floor, so they need to make a nest out of pillows.
So you don't say that. You're
Yeah,
like,
you don't.
I just
You
like
say,
a lot of pillows.
I have some back issues. I need some more pillows.
And you're like adding in like the 8th person in the room.
Yeah.
Sleep under the bed.
That would actually be funny.
We shouldn't be preaching these things. Like, I know it's part of our culture, but like, there's going to be a whole new generation coming out of this pandemic. We need to teach them how to actually do conventions right. Like, you don't need to room stuff. It's not something you have to do. It's
Yeah.
If you're not
But I
using
will
your
say
phone,
from
I would
personal
say disconnect
experience,
from the
don't
Wi-Fi.
actually sleep under a bed because you forget you're under a bed and you wake up and crack your head on the underside of the bed frame, and that's not cool.
No, I just
If you're not using your phone, disconnect from the Wi-Fi so we get better stream. So I'm not hiccuping as much as you guys are, and I think it might just because the laptop requires more.
Oh yeah, see, I can see the bars going back up.
Yeah.
So sorry if you had a bad
We
connection.
have a very sad router, and it tries really hard.
guys. See, it's completely gone now. It's like, okay, guys, you're good. Sorry. We have to pay attention.
But we're talking about like, you know, like how cosplay is different for every person. And so like I really like cosplay for presenting panels, and that's what like CosTalk Live, like when Jess brought up to me like, hey, you want to do this? Like we're like, okay, let's give it a shot and like do it for fun. And that was like what, March?
That was
April
over a year
of
ago.
last year.
We talked about it in March.
Yeah,
I think we had our first one in April.
Yeah, we did April of last year, and I think Amber was like on our very first episode as a
No,
guest.
I don't think. No, she wasn't.
No, was it?
We
It was
can't
the
find
second
the
one. It was
first.
the second one.
It was the third one. The
Oh,
second
you
one. The second one is the buttholes one.
If you guys haven't watched that funny clip, Jess was trying to say buttonholes.
And that's one of those things again where you're like, don't say it, don't do it, and then of course I did it.
Instead of sewing buttonholes on
I was
her
sewing-
clothing, she sews.
I sew buttholes.
Yeah.
It's my specialty.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah.
I
So
have a machine that sews buttholes for me.
I need it.
But no, like I really like speaking to people. When I first started costuming, it was like, oh, cool, I can make some fun stuff. And then I got to paint. Like I think Amber, the first time I was wearing like my Demon Hunter, you asked me to join you guys at a panel in Phoenix, and there was like Ben Hamana was there, and like we were talking about.
Oh yeah, that was one of the romance option panels, I think.
Yeah, is that or it was an armor panel? It was one or the other. And it was just one of those things that I'm like, actually, maybe even the romance options panel. Yeah. And it was just one of those things that I'm like, this is so cool. It was awesome. And I fell on stage. But it was, I
You survived.
my chair, I pushed it out more than I realized. So when I went to sit down, I bounced back up. Like I hit the ground and bounced back up. It was so good. I mean, you heard it. It was loud.
It's one of the benefits of foam.
Yeah.
Foam
So
armor, you bow.
just boing. But no, that was one of those things that like once I got introduced to him, it's been pretty hard for me to stop.
Yeah.
That's about where my beginning was. Like, I mean, I grew up in a household where like cons and panels were pretty normal. Like once I hit like mid-teens, my parents were like, convention time. So I did a lot of panel, like I went to a lot of panels and stuff, and then like accidentally made friends. Like it'd be one of those panels where it's like, hey, we need somebody to come support, and so they'd get somebody from the crowd. And like that's actually how I met my girlfriend. She was running a panel, and I was just like, hey, I can help. So I just like that culture is something that you just can't replicate. And right now, it's something that's how you make friends. That's how you get to know people.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, Michelle says, can't wait for cons to come back. Our first in-person con here is going to be Sabo.
So we're going to be actually at a convention next week, live.
Oh, right.
Virtual. We're going to be streaming for 4 hours for Anime Next.
And
Yay!
I think it's a New York-based convention.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is the first time they're doing it online. Obviously, everyone had to cancel last year. So they're actually going to do the whole thing on Twitch. So we will be streaming as normal on all 3 platforms, and we will be over our normal streaming time, but we will start at 9 a.m. Pacific if you guys want to join us.
It's like 12 p.m. their time, and we're like, we're in Arizona. They're like, oh, okay, well, originally it was going to be 8 a.m. We're like, can you like push it back like an hour? And they pushed it back an hour, and I'm like, okay, that's good enough. So
yeah.
So next week, I mean, we'll talk about it before we in the stream, but we already have all the panels planned, and we just need to reach out for the TikTok guests.
Okay, yeah, we have a couple guests that we're gonna have, a couple different guests, and a couple different, like the hosts will alternate.
We already the 3D printing Novarune already said cool.
I will not be on at 9 a.m. Just setting expectations.
Yeah, so it'll be panel every hour, 9 to 10,
Just
10 to 11,
setting.
11 to 12, and then our normal.
And then
stream
12, Amber will show up.
Yeah. I'll show up at like 12:30 roll and be like, sup, I just woke up.
Hey guys. Michelle says, I'm getting a panel approved for Sabo too, but their policies for this year are making me have some qualms. Yeah,
Same.
that's kind of what's been the topic for us too. Robert says, hi, Papa Fallout. Moving from just doing cosplaying to panels and other con stuff makes it much funner. You know, it's like I used to only go to cosplay as well. And then of course, back then, I hate saying that. Back then, there really wasn't that much. There wasn't
The old days.
Yeah, in the old days, you just walked around and did hall cosplay. So we actually called it
Right.
hall cosplay and masquerade cosplay. And
Right.
there was nothing else to. And then people started doing photo meetups and like, okay, that's cool. And then of course it grew into more and more and more things. So it's really cool that cosplay is a huge part of conventions now.
Yeah.
So definitely there's a lot to do with it now. I like to help as well. I've actually assimilated some people into cosplay, and that's like one of my hobbies too. So yeah, I definitely like helping people.
Jess collects people.
I collect cosplayers.
Well, and I totally get that though, because with my workshop, I always end up with a bunch of babus that need a space that's safe for them to work at. And so we always end up with wonderful new people that are just like, so my team dad and mom over there, they work for a high school. They do a lot of robotics stuff. And a lot of those kids are kind of nerdy. And so once they get the taste of building things, they kind of need somewhere to come. And so we always end up doing these awesome builds. And it's so fun working with young people, really just getting into the taste of cosplay. It's just most of us have been doing this for so long that it's we're kind of, it's always fun to build, but you don't get that same sparkle-eyed excitement when somebody builds their first piece, and you're just that was I could see how happy they were just by building that wonderful one little prop, their first prop, versus now I'm I gotta make a bastard sword. Are you kidding me? I gotta jewel it too. Okay.
I've definitely reached the point with cosplays where I'm how much of this cosplay can I build off of stuff I already have? How much recycling can I do so I don't have to build more stuff? But and that's a great another reason that people cosplay. Some people cosplay just to build stuff, just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
I know several cosplayers who build these beautiful, intricate, amazing armors and then wear them for an hour at a convention before they're done. And I'm no. You spent an hour getting ready and you only wore it for an hour, but that's all they want. They just wanted to build it. They got photos and then they're done.
Yeah.
So
that's actually how my brother Novarune cosplay is. He's so excited. Every time I hire him to do something for a 3D print, I'm just printing out all the repair work for it because he uses TPU, which is it takes a lot of work to get TPU looking nice. But it's one of those things that I'm I swear, he's so you have something next for me? Do you have some other ideas for me? And I was I think he just likes it because he's getting better at 3D modeling.
Yeah, it gives him more practice too. You're not going to be as critical on him as a full paint customer.
Well, and it gives me a chance too to learn more about 3D printing and the different plastics. So I've learned the different what adhesives work for ABS versus PLA versus TPU. I've had to learn all of that now. So when I go to one of these 3D printed panels or I judge and someone comes in and says, I use this 3D print, I now have knowledge behind me that this person went through a lot of work because I've done it and it sucks. But it's also awesome because it's going to last way longer than foam. So,
Definitely. So Papa Fallout says, Fallout group schedules a big walkthrough during cons. It is so much fun, especially when you pretty much see everyone just stop and go, wow. Yeah, that's cool too, is joining a cosplay group or something. Of course, you can do, cosplay is whatever you want, so if you want to be by yourself.
And there's tons of charity groups, or there's social groups, or there's build groups, there's all kinds.
One of my favorite memories was right after Wonder Woman came out. And for Phoenix Fan Fusion, I think it was, we had a big group of 30 of us who did Amazons.
That's before they friended me.
Sorry. But yeah, there's a big group of 30 of us who all did Amazons, and we all just walked through the hall together, and people parted and let all these Amazons go past. And it was
that was the
so
day I was
much fun.
doing Thane Krios because she invited me, but I was doing Thane Krios, and I've already worked so hard on this costume, and it took me 3 hours to put the makeup on. I'm sorry, I love you, but I'm not doing that.
We did a couple more meetups.
It's so interesting. the different cultures with different conventions in different states. Because like, I mean, I'm sure we have a decent like Fallout size group and stuff, but I feel like we don't have those kinds of big things. But we have like the Star Wars group. I'm sorry, I don't know any of their names.
Yeah.
And like there's such a big thing here, and so like even me who's not a Star Wars geek, like I know who they are, and when I see them at cons I'm like, oh hey, it's them. But like it's such a different atmosphere, I guess, because the only conventions you see like a lot of cosplay is like SakuraCon or like anime based conventions. If you go to PAX, Emerald City's gotten way better, but like PAX, I cosplayed. It was only a couple of years ago. I cosplayed there. I was like one of maybe 100 out of a couple of 1,000 people in like the main building, and it was so bizarre because I'm like, I've never been to a con that like didn't have like a heavy cosplay community.
PAX also outlawed cosplay up until a couple of years ago.
They didn't want any booth babes, like nothing. When Jessica Negri showed up, that was
because they wanted it to be more tech based and they wanted more focus on the actual vendors.
So that's why very popular. They actively were like, no,
but there are some cons that I've been to, like that have been like really, really small cons where I expected to see a bunch of cosplayers, right? Like Sabaku Con in New Mexico is run by the same people that run Sabotain Con. And Lena and I went there, and there weren't actually as many cosplayers.
Yeah, I was expecting there to be more cosplayers
there. 20 of us total. Yeah. I'm like, this is weird.
It's like Kikori is like the minority of people not in cosplay. It's like so different.
Kikori is backwards. Like basically you go to Kikori, like that's the funny thing is sometimes you literally go there and if you're not dressed up,
then you feel weird.
Someone will come up to you, I got a spare wig, you want to wear it? And then other cons you go there dressed up and people are like, what are you doing?
I cosplayed to E3 and that was
really
that was an adventure. That was an adventure because it was literally like this massive convention and it was like me and like 2 other people who were cosplaying and people kept asking me, oh, what game are you repping? Like, oh, are you here?
Wow.
Just here.
Because it's obviously it's more of an industry convention and so and then of course like normies get in and it's like it's like, oh my god, this is amazing. So let's see. Michelle says, I didn't know PAX allowed cosplay now.
It's very recent. It's like 3 years, I would say, because
it must be fairly recent. I mean, I haven't been doing PAX a whole lot, but I went. I mean, it was the year before the pandemic. I don't know. That's the way I can tell time. It was the year. The year before the pandemic. I ended up getting lucky and I got some free tickets for PAX. So I got to go for the first time, and I went in cosplay because I don't know how to con without cosplay. Like that's just my jam. And so I went in cosplay, and I was just so shocked because I was expecting so much because I'm used to Emerald City and SakuraCon, and there was nobody, and I'm like, oh.
I went in like 2008. And like 0. I obviously because back then, not even any booth babes, no one in any kind of costume whatsoever.
That's crazy.
I know it was weird. I mean, at the time, I was doing a lot of writing for blogs, so it was just not on my mind at the time. But it's nothing, no cosplay. Now I'm like, what? Huh? Yeah.
It's funny because like even on days where I'm not cosplaying, I'm sort of cosplaying. I have a hoodie or I have leggings or something that I'm playing a character.
I've got to a point where I feel like it's a waste of a day if I'm not cosplaying.
Yeah.
Like I have to put something on unless I'm absolutely dying, and I'm like, no, can't.
That's actually why I started doing Merida. The whole reason I love Merida, but the whole reason I started doing Merida is she's so easy to wear.
So easy. Dress.
I definitely have cosplays that we refer to as the Thursday cosplay. So it's a cosplay that's super easy, like Diva. She's literally like a one-piece suit and a wig and a headpiece, and no like big props or crazy makeup or anything like that. So. I definitely have my, like, this is super chill, low-key, so that I can walk around and enjoy the convention, but still be in cosplay.
Robert says, I feel naked when I don't dress up for a con.
Yeah.
Okay. At least you can wear pants, okay?
FOMO,
you don't need to dress up, but wear pants.
Hey, Rob, I'll make you a robe, and you can walk around and say, P-A-S-U Domine, and just, like, just smack your head in a stone, and you don't even have to show your face. You just walk around.
I think everyone needs to have a no-face costume for when they're just, like, over it, right? Yeah. Just throw on this black sheet. I'm over it, guys.
And hand out gold coins.
Oh my God.
Takes them.
I love my Mando. Like I put the helmet on and then I just like veg out.
Yeah.
And then like people are taking pictures and I'm just like,
yeah, you don't need to like constantly smile, you know, or else someone will take a random picture of you like, look at this bitch. Like, I was just looking, I'm tired, you know.
I have never worn a costume that has a mask or anything that covers my face ever.
I have worn a lot of costumes.
I don't like
But your
masks.
visibility, though, if you're like me and you're a klutz, like I love like things that cover my face because my face is very sensitive to makeup. So like any opportunity I can not makeup is good.
Oh my gosh.
I love my Venom.
I can't wear makeup.
But like, yeah, and then I'm already klutzy. So then you like reduce some of my visibility and I get extra klutzy.
Yeah, the rule is when Lena has a mask on, she holds my arm.
Yeah, depending on, especially when I had my yokai from Big Hero 6, like the visibility on that was awful.
It was like a pin needle. It was so small.
Why have I never seen this cosplay? Lena, you have to send me a picture.
I will. I have
yeah, okay. I was
bad when I wear, because like you have astigmatism too. I get contact lenses without any power.
Yep.
Like when I do Widowmaker.
Crazy.
I know. I just walk around and I'm like,
So I'm just gonna let you know. I have one eye that's -5 and one that's -6. If I did that, I would die.
yeah, I'm not too bad yet, but I'm bad enough that I would definitely not drive. You know,
I'm -6.25 and -6.5, and I wear contacts with no power. And yeah,
Are you nearsighted or farsighted?
I'm nearsighted.
Yeah, I'm nearsighted.
I have a husband who does everything for me.
Yes.
Shout out to my husband, Matthew. You're the best.
My handler husband.
I love you, babe. Let's stay
That's
married
another thing
forever.
to talk about that people forget about with cosplay. If you're a first-time cosplayer and you decide to go with a massive build, like my first cosplay was my version of a demon hunter. But thankfully, I knew I'd have people with me. Like my brother was a pirate, and he insisted on walking with me the whole time. So he wanted to make sure I was okay and that my experience was good. And it's a good thing he did because I had a guy hit my ass and he caught him. Anyways, so like I've had so many people struck my butt. Anyways, but it was one of those things that like if you start cosplaying with big builds, a lot of people do, like you said, they enjoy building and they may wear it once or twice. You need someone to help you. So come join a group if you don't have a friend who wants to go with you, so that you can actually go, hey, my name's so and so. I messaged your group. Can I get someone to come walk around with me? So
yeah.
I actually want to give a shout out to the Fallout group, because I know for a fact that the Fallout group in Arizona is fantastic for making sure you get support.
You don't even have to be a Fallout cosplayer.
Yeah, just like roam up, make friends with the Fallout group. Papa Rob has put people in his big builds to go walk around.
I'm walking one of his, I hope.
So like building a community is really, really important. Please don't do a giant cosplay and then go to the convention by yourself. Like save that. If you have a giant cosplay and no one to go with you, like save that for photo shoots later. Like it's not safe, and you're not going to have fun if you're like struggling to get up an escalator.
Like the day that I went, so the first time I went to SabakuCon, I was visiting my aunt in New Mexico, and she didn't go with me to the con, but the last day she's like, I'm really curious. And I was like, would you be willing to be my handler? She's like, oh, yes. And she was so excited to be my handler. Didn't care about the anime con, was just excited to be my handler.
It's fun. Like if you haven't done it and you like have days that you just don't want to, like you don't have to be in cosplay all days, like offer to be somebody's handler.
Especially
it's a lot of fun.
You're a
really cool.
cosplayer,
Because
then you know what you're feeling.
And then you can plan if the person's bored, like you can plan, like I planned was like, I'm not going to stay here for more than 3 or 4 hours. So but like I just kind of introduced her to anime and all these other things, and she's a geek anyways. But she's like, oh, this is different. This is because she goes to sci-fi and writers cons. Like she's an author and a scientist, and so like she just wanted to see what the other side looks like.
You usually get fed too. If you're a handler, cosplayers tend to feed you or do something for your favor. Like we understand the trade.
Yeah.
I do have to say that, like, when I was in my Soul Survivor cosplay, like interacting with the like Fallout community was completely different than other communities. They're just so
nice.
Excited, like, oh my god, there's another one, you know. It's and I think the reason why it's so popular here is because we do live in like it looks like we live in a post-apocalyptic world.
You can drive about 15 minutes out of any major city, and it's just desert.
Yeah. I think that's why it's so popular, because it's like, yes, I know where to shoot.
It took us 2 hours to get to the woods.
We have a number of comments before we get any further. We actually need to scroll up a little bit because there's like some up here that we haven't caught yet.
All right, let's see. I didn't even see them keep going. Okay,
so I think we were right
there.
Ray,
it says, I tried costumeless on like Sunday because the previous day were difficult costumes and I immediately regretted it. Although Sundays can be good if you're like on a mission to shop. Like shopping is the best on Sunday. So if that's what your goal is, you're not going to get anything done if you're in costume.
Yeah.
So like if I were to pick a day, it might be Sunday because number one, I'll be tired. And then number two, it's like, I just want to go buy all the stuff that went on sale.
Sunday is usually a shorter day too. It's usually either Thursday or Sunday.
Yeah,
So
I try to have my easiest cosplay be on Sunday because I know by Sunday I'm going to be exhausted. Yeah. Even though like there's more people and I want to show off more, rather than making Thursday when nobody's there my easy cosplay, I always make it Sunday because I'm like, done by then.
Pre says that the comfy cosplay is Street Fighter for the family. Street Fighter is pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I know my Chun-Li, it doesn't look comfortable, but it is super comfortable.
You guys ready for it? Yes, my Melina is super comfortable. I just like pissing people off when I do that. My Melina is not comfortable, so like I envy.
But you've got things like glued on and stuff.
Yeah, I've got the teeth glued on, and she also has to be glued up in place, so I'm not like inappropriate.
Yeah, right. Apparently Ray said based off of like, when I pick stuff, I think about masks and helmets too, if I can.
Yeah.
And Rob said, what is this visibility you're talking about? Whatever, Rob. You need to be able to walk.
That's what handlers are for.
Rob builds helmets
it's nice.
No, I float.
No wig, no, like Ray said, like no wig, no makeup, no contacts. You don't have to do any of contacts for those of us who are lesser.
What's vision
problems.
No color contacts because that does feel different than regular contacts for sure.
Oh, and Rob agreed handlers are worth their weight in gold. So take care of your handlers.
Ben says, sorry, I'm late. Can you leave? Because we've closed.
Ben, that's so mean. He said that Rob's so old he needs 2 handlers. That's so mean.
Don't let Ben be your handler. He'll probably like feed you poison. Or
something. So our next episode, we're happy to announce, is going to be a Ben versus Rob smackdown.
Yeah. Dude, when they had their 3D printing episode, they literally had those little signs that they held each other. If you guys want to watch something funny, Nova Rune and Papa Fallout did a 3D printing video with us, and you can go on our sites and watch it and just literally see them. I love Papa Fallout and I love Nova Rune, and these little, I didn't even see them, they just popped up out of nowhere and they're just cardboard sign, and I'm like, what the heck?
Premeditated adoration.
Meanwhile, in the comments, they're telling each other that it's you suck, Ben, and then a lot of laughing.
They love each other.
Yeah.
As you guys can see, the cosplay community is rife with drama.
Yeah.
You can't even escape it here.
We've been chatting a lot, guys, but again, this is a really open chat today. So like,
if you have questions.
Yeah,
any questions in there.
In the chat, you want questions, like whatever, we're happy to answer whatever, as long as it's not like.
So we could talk about like kind of our origins as CosTalk Live, like how we started. It was you and I and Liz. And then we kind of slowly but surely, like Lena was here.
It all started though because the 4 of us, the 3 of us and Liz were meeting weekly to choreograph something for WonderCon because we were entering the masquerade, and we were only like 2 weeks in, and they're like, "Stop, everyone, stop!" Yeah. And we were like, "Oh crap!" Like we were enjoying that, like seeing each other because what was it in February? So the last con we had done was, all together was the first. It was the first all together. All together. All of us was like Caillou. And then I was like, well, God, this sucks. And so we were just like,
we were literally in my house setting up the cardboard props for the stage, practicing falling so that we wouldn't hurt ourselves.
Yeah, we were like intense. I've
never done that.
We got to do that. We have to do it again. But so then I was like to Sam, I don't even know how I even thought of it to begin with. Well, I always had the idea of like, we should do a talk show with our friends.
Yeah. Well, you just weren't sure how to execute it.
Yeah. And then finally we were just doing absolutely nothing. And we're just like, let's just do it.
Yeah,
like let's just
and we started with like OBS and like
it was a nightmare
and like Zoom, and it was terrible.
We tried different things and it was just bad. And we did Discord too. We tried Discord.
Yeah. I think you guys were using Zoom when I
was. We used Zoom with you. We used Discord with Diana.
I'm like the late add-on.
No, it wasn't.
No.
That was with Diana, and we have that somewhere.
Well, I'll look online.
But the first episode is probably Zoom, and it probably was a mess.
I still have my Zoom account, so I could probably go back in my history and find it.
They usually erase after,
I recorded it.
Yeah, but they'll erase after like a
certain. I paid for it. I had the pro account.
No, even when you pay for it. So check.
The moral of the story:
I lost an episode.
We don't know what the first episode is. I cannot remember. But yeah, so here we are. So obviously, like we started with our friends as hosts, and we always wanted to mix it up and make it a variety. So that's why from the beginning we're like, we'll bring different people on every time. And
we met a lot of cosplayers too because we're like,
Yeah.
because people were messaging us going, "Oh, we see you have guests. Have you?"
Yeah,
this person
we've
like,
had people reach out
like
and be
Dust
like,
Bunny from California, and then Yaya Han, and then like Air Bubbles from Seattle, like all these people that like most of them have not met in person, and I was like, okay, cool, like
yeah, so that was really cool. And I've gotten some people
Whatever.
reaching out to me too, like to be on like their streams and stuff. And it's opened like doors for a lot of us. Like, I mean, we're not like celebrities, we're not getting paid or anything, but it's great. Like, it's stuff that we love doing. And like, yeah, if someone wants to reach out, that's even better, you know? So what do we have in the chat here?
We have Ben and Rob going,
Awesome. What would you guys recommend for Jerry?
Look, just skip down to free. Let them have their
I'll just read the question so everyone that can't see it.
romance.
Ben has asked, what would you recommend for geriatric cosplay asking for a friend?
Phone because you bounce.
yes,
Wonder Woman, because you do you. That's why.
no bouncy foam. I am evidence of this. Foam bounces, bubbles bounce, and so does foam.
Free says we had tickets to go to WonderCon 2. You guys try to do the competition again when they have another WonderCon. Yeah, we've talked about it because we have this choreography and
I'm gonna redo the two of the designs,
and we cannot let go of this idea. Like we put too much work in already, so we're definitely gonna do it somewhere. So
yeah, I worked
like
3.5 hours taking clips from all over the Moana's like soundtrack and merging them and blending
we
them
did
so
spend
that
a
the
lot of time
audio did
editing
not
it.
sound terrible.
Okay, I do know what you guys are doing because I'm sitting
Yeah.
over here. I'm like,
yeah, no, we've announced it before, but yeah.
I haven't done it.
Sorry, it's okay. I'm supposed to make your
I'm
costume.
changing.
I was just like, my origin story is
Mine is too heavy. So my Tamato is 15 pounds of fabric. I can't do it. I tried and I was in so much pain in my hips, so I'm modifying that design.
Kii-Chan, what were you saying?
oh, I was just saying like the way I got dragged into this chaotic mess is I was having like a really hard month, and I was really struggling with like my image as a cosplayer because it was a couple of months after the pandemic. I had lost 2 conventions at that point that I go to yearly, and I was just really feeling it, and I almost like I had a lot of self-doubt in like, do I continue working on cosplay? Do I just put it away for the rest of the time? And then Sam reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to be a guest? Do you want to like pop on and do a thing? And I was like, okay, sure. Like, I don't know how to do that, but like, I can be a guest, sure. And then like that just snowballed, and now I'm here when like as often as I can be. Well, hello, child.
Cosplay kitty.
Do.
Aww, she's like, why didn't you tell me?
I have to tell
Right.
our website now because we have more hosts, and so I gotta start editing my website.
Let's see. Robert says, will you be doing booths at cons? So I think it would be cool if we could do a CosTalk Live booth. I know Amber, that's her thing.
Oh, well, I'm a guest at UNON, possibly. Well, I know I am.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe
so-
I could bring CosTalk Live. We could stream it.
So we
I
definitely
think
would like to
you
do.
would like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you'd enjoy that.
I think definitely bringing CosTalk Live because I know
Have we done a
individually we
panel?
have done.
Of course, we haven't done a panel as CosTalk Live, but like we should do panels.
No, we talked about it.
Oh,
Yeah, it'd be
I'm
cool
good
if we
at
did a
things,
panel and even
guys.
just streamed it like
Well,
that. would be
'cause
awesome.
Yeah, and I'll try to be like streamed in whenever that is possible, being so far away.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. And I think that what we do is we're in such a niche like community of like actual cosplay streamers. I know there's other people that do it, but like it's hard to keep up with too. Like as a cosplayer, you know, it's hard to keep up with. And I know sometimes like I think somewhere in the beginning I was just like, oh my god, like I know I started this to like have fun, and I was going through my whole thing where I'm just like I can't. Like we were actually doing it on Fridays. That's why. Because we had started on Fridays and it was so hard to get in the mode of Friday. I don't know why.
We moved to Sundays.
And then we moved to that
helps
was
a lot.
that was rough on me, and I don't even know why.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because it was at like 5 o'clock on Friday.
it was like
something
5 or
like
6
that.
on Fridays,
Yeah.
and then it just was not
Well,
working.
and then
out.
what I did was I did research on what primetime streaming were, and then
Mhm.
when people would interact the most, but without having like clogging up the channel. For some reason, Sunday at noon just seemed to be like the best slot.
Well, if you imagine a lot of people that do work on cosplay is probably going to be on Sunday,
Yeah.
and we do
Yeah.
have people that watch us, you know, while they work on cosplay. So
As far as bringing a stream to a booth at a convention, I don't like this will be up to you guys, but that does pose a lot of obstacles.
Yes.
especially
Most-
like the Friday.
Most conventions don't provide electricity. Most conventions are really shitty with Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Mhm.
the noise and stuff like that presents a problem.
Yeah, I could
so.
bring like a mic and use my phone to stream if there's mobile access. Like I don't even
Potentially.
need Wi-Fi.
I know.
I can do mobile.
I
Yeah,
know.
but sometimes you're in the basement,
Yep.
you don't even have cell
Yeah.
service.
So-
Well, and
like-
StreamYard limits us to 4 hours, so we would have to keep stopping and restarting.
Yeah.
So we might like occasionally like do a panel here or there if we can get connection.
Mhm.
And I agree with you. I think having like a permanent booth, unless we're set, because they do at some cons like Sabo, they literally have a creators corner and they set up podcasters. and they
Game
give
On's
them
good about
access.
Game On's good about
Yeah.
it.
I was gonna say Game On would be a good
Yeah.
one.
Game On-
And like once the world is correct again, like I can do some more traveling. I travel all the time just as a hobby, and so like fitting in a convention here and there in my daily schedule would be great. And I would love to come and like hang out and do cons with you guys. So
I
like
have a guest room. It's my cosplay crafting room, so you'd be right at home.
I think
I have lots of beds to sleep on. I just need to get there when things are better. So
I would say it's for a smaller con, so that way you can enjoy it more and we can all spend more time together. Not like Phoenix Comic Con, it's huge.
Well, except
Yeah.
for next year, it's going to be limited attendance, and
Yeah.
it's finally in January, and you don't want to come here when it's hot, right?
Which
I do prefer a winter con. It hit like 90 yesterday, and I just about died. Like I just was done.
That'd be good.
And
So we came up here where it was like 95, and we're like, oh, this is so nice and cool.
That's so good.
I'm just like dying.
sure.
The valley was 107.
Well, we weren't outside when it was 95, but we were
So-
walking around most of the day.
So Rob does say if you want to do on Hangout with the Fallout group, we have electricity, and that might be how CosTalk Live goes because I have a booth at Fan Fusion, so we could have 1 hour streams from certain
Yeah.
booths. So that might be.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe-
yeah, that'd be
maybe-
That would be
maybe
fun.
we do it 4 times a day so that we're not streaming the whole time because we do still want to be able to enjoy.
What
the
if
con.
we like hit up booths that had electricity and be like, can we collab?
yeah,
like,
I was
we'll
gonna say, like,
stream
we
and
should,
we'll,
we
like-
should interview like different booths and stuff
Yeah,
like
that
that.
would be
Like
fun.
wander
That'd
around
be
and
fun.
actually, like get interviews from people. And if we don't have internet, we can always just record it and stream it later.
But
Yeah.
we could make a deal with that booth and be like, look, we're gonna actively show. You can show what you got on sale. Let's interview you if we can use your Wi-Fi for the hour or whatever. You know, no, like seriously, like
Yeah.
interview you guys for an hour. Like let us use your Wi-Fi. So Pre says you guys are amazing for doing these streams. Oh, thank you. It honestly helps with not being able to go to conventions. Plus all the knowledge you guys have makes it feel like I'm at a panel. Oh, I like when people say nice things about it. Okay.
Well,
There's dogs in there.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
There's a lot of ATVs that drive around here, and
I'm
that one had a
sorry.
dog.
I have really like strong dog radar. I'm sorry. I was very, very uncalled for.
That's gonna go on one of the reels. I feel like all of the goofy reels it's either been Jess or Yaya.
No, I'm sorry. There's a giant, beautiful window in front of us.
Oh my god! If you're not following Yaya on TikTok, follow
oh
her.
god, go do
She's
it.
hilarious. I love her so
So
much.
we'll bring her back. We'll bring her back soon, guys. Let us know what
Yeah.
you want from her. What you want from her. What would you like to know from her? We are not selling her.
I was just gonna say, my favorite tip came from Yaya, and
it was the cam.
yeah. So someone was
Yeah.
talking about how do you get these amazing like working shots? Like, what does your rig look like? And she was like,
It was so good.
she
I was
literally
like,
takes her selfie stick and sticks it in her cleavage and then works.
that
and
is
I'm like,
brilliant. I'm like, I'm gonna have to like get some
Wow.
sort of like harness.
wow, right?
I was
"Where's
like,
your-" yeah.
I feel like I actually have the largest ones out of all of us, which is sad because I'm not even like that well endowed.
We could probably just sew. We could just sew loops into our bras. And
There you go.
It would be called like the cosplay streaming bra.
the tutorial, cause tutorial bra.
Yeah.
we gotta think about this. We call it the boob window. But it's,
And we've got to make
like it's the boob window.
and men
but it's-
too, you know, men deserve it too. So we'll make them fit all sexes. Yeah.
But the men one has to have like giant fake silicone boobies,
Okay.
and that needs to be part of it.
Because it has to be like
We are going to break down some gender norms, and
we all
men
have to-
should experience
all in
boobies.
solidarity, right?
Yeah.
see, I'm just
Boobies
thinking
work.
like Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist, but you have to have like the little beauty star marks around, but like just the giant pecs, right?
Oh my god.
And just like in order to do it, you can only use one hand because the other hand has to be like doing this and maintaining to hold the pecs. Like, I don't know.
Oh no!
Wow.
Let's see the comments.
Okay.
Check the.
we've come up with lots of inventions and ideas in this one stream. I think
Yeah,
we
you
start
guys have-
patenting things.
You guys, we need to be doing this on less sleep more often, guys.
Yeah. And more hungover.
More hungover.
I'm too old to be hungover all
I'm
the
not
time.
hungover now.
It was rough this morning. I was just like,
Yeah, I woke
Die.
up at my alarm and I turned it off and I rolled over and went back to sleep. I'm like, nope.
oh, I snoozed times. I'm sure I don't know if you heard it or not, but I snoozed so many times.
And
And
I'm
then
sorry, Lena. I turned off
Your
my alarm.
alarm
like 3
is
separate
adorable.
times.
I'm like, that is so cute. It would
no, because
never
you didn't
wake
hear
me
her
up.
alarm. We were sitting here for breakfast, and all of a sudden it was like, meh, meh. What the heck?
Lena, the first time I heard Lena's alarm at a convention, I thought that the fire alarm was going
Yes,
off.
yes. I was like, what the heck?
I got up and I was like, Lena, wake up, the fire alarm. She's laughing.
It's like a klaxon alarm. Meanwhile, mine is like do 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 do. Wake up, Amber.
Yeah.
Don't be mad because it's morning.
I have one of those too. I use a really soft.
Yeah,
soft
not me. I will sleep through my phone doing all sorts of nonsense. I sleep hard. So my alarm is, I mean, the sound is called alarm. It just sounds like the alarm on a submarine that's trying to wake up the dead. It's fine.
It's like, because not last night, but the night before, because Sam and I are sharing a room, and Sam gets up early, and I'm on this mission to just get up earlier and earlier in my life. And then Sam happened to walk in, and I was like, this. And she's like, are you okay?
I
Kat?
thought that she'd been possessed for a
And I was like,
second.
no, I'm just forcing myself to wake up.
Yeah.
I always remember this one time I was at a convention and like waking up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to go like do your like stage tests and stuff in costume is not fun. And so like at one point we had like the Attack on Titan theme songs as like our alarm clocks. And I tell you what, that will get your ass out of bed real fast.
Yeah. So if you guys have questions, by the way, it can be about like how we got started in cosplay,
anything.
just, just let us know. Otherwise, we're just going to keep talking about like kind of the things we're looking forward to. So you guys what costumes are you guys working on? Anybody? Because I've got a list. It's ridiculous.
I'm working on a couple. I'm working on Seraphine, from KDA Seraphine.
I gotta get off my ass and just order the Evelyn. Like, I'm not gonna make it. There's zippers in the skirt. I looked at it. I'm like, I'm not gonna make that. Like, I know myself.
Cosplay.
Okay, but Pro Cosplays is made out of a semi-shiny PU, and I want a shiny,
like a wet shiny.
Yeah, I want a wet shiny.
Something on it to make it look shiny.
Not
high enough.
Well, I mean, do you need the zippers to actually open?
No, but you have to install them and make them look good.
Yeah,
and I just know I'm not going to do that.
You still need to install. Yeah,
like there's a reason the 2 types of cosplays I do are either armor or like bikini cosplays. I don't like sewing. I have been working on.
You made Kaisa.
I know,
and it looks so good.
I can sew. I just hate it. But like, there's a reason I've been working on Morgan from Dragon Age for 6 months at this point.
I didn't know you were doing Morgan.
I know, because she's half built on my mannequin because you have to sew all the stupid straps on, and I don't like sewing.
I was working on an Isabella for a long time.
Okay, you need to bring that out.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if I was going to pick it up again. But if
Pick
you're
it up
doing
again.
Morgan, from which one?
The original.
Okay.
Her
well,
original
Isabel's not
outfit.
in. She's in the second one, but I guess it's
Whatever, it's still good.
All right.
And then I've got my Inquisitor armor. We can throw somebody else in the Inquisitor armor.
That's too for me.
Yeah, it's probably too small. Lena, do you want to wear my Inquisitor?
I can make
Sure.
it
Cool. Like, it's super comfy.
This is how I cosplay, guys.
I love Liliana.
Oh, Liliana. I have the fabric for Liliana too, because I was going to do it, but
the
then
chainmail fabric?
Yep, the chainmail fabric.
I've always, that wouldn't be hard for me to sew. I'm really good at like.
Or like, you know who would be a
Jackets and vests
beautiful
and stuff.
Lily is Liz would make a good Lily too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Liz looks good and everything.
Liz is just perfection.
She's just-
and every
she's
time
a
she
goddess.
rolls out with a new cosplay, I'm like, I have such a
know.
girl crush.
I
on
know. Just like, stop, Liz. Okay, we love you.
her. Can you be my best friend?
And she's not well today, guys. That's why she's
I
not
could be
joining
an
us.
elf
So
too. I could
send
choose
her
one of the
message.
elven
Get
characters
better.
because I like makeup. So.
You should be Sarah.
Sarah, yes.
I could do
because
Sarah.
Oh my
You
God,
can
you
see.
would be a
Yeah,
great Sarah.
that
And
would-
she's
and-
tall too.
And she got, I got the hippies. So
I'm just going to
Sarah
say,
would be perfect.
just as a forewarning, if you are Sarah, I will get Twitter pated around you because I always romance Sarah.
I romance
It's fine. It's
Liliana. I'm partial to Liliana.
That's totally fine.
One of my friends, Gabby from LA, I met her in Sarah because she was walking around and I had a freaking table there. I don't even remember what con it was, but she's walking around as Sarah, and I was like,
yeah, there's
selfie,
not many.
and she was like,
Sarah cosplays.
she's like, I thought I was being punked because one of the cosplay guests was like fawning over me, and I'm like, it's Sarah. Like if I see a Sarah cosplayer, I just
Well,
lose
her
my shit.
outfit's not that complicated.
No,
that would
it's
take
good
me like a week to make.
Yeah,
Just
so, Dragon Age group, Dragon Age.
romancing her was hard.
So
though.
apparently
I
now
found
we
it
have
to
a
be
Dragon
hard.
Age group.
This is
Oh my
Someone
god.
wants to volunteer to be our soulless, so we can put you in the corner and I'll glare at you the entire time
Who's gonna
because you
be our-
broke the world.
Who's gonna be our
Sure.
Like fawn over.
Kii-Chan would be a great
Alistair.
solace.
I have actually never played the game. I watched a couple of playthroughs, so
I
like
think if
I
it's
need to
Solus,
play
I
it.
think you would fall in love with Solus.
He's a hoity-toity egghead noodle that you love, but you also hate because
Yeah.
he's a dick.
You're
but
not
he's
sure.
also romantic.
You're not
and,
sure how to
like,
feel about it, but it doesn't matter.
That means he's probably my character. Sounds legit.
We have,
So-
we have complicated feelings about Solus. We want to like slap, kiss. Like,
Mhm.
all
if
right.
I slap.
Yeah, sure.
I just as long as it's a dude character, I'm usually okay. I very like there's a handful of female characters I play, including I guess now Kalyana, but like I if you throw me in something, it's fine. Like this isn't the first time Sam's done this. And he was like, the reason why I started watching freaking Ruby and got into Pyrrha was because Sam's like, oh, you're gonna be Pyrrha, and I'm like, all right then.
I
Like she's actually there.
Yeah,
on my...
I brought the uniform and then like and then I safety pinned it on. We like helped safety pin her. And it's fine. I'm a much bigger girl. And then she's
So
just
tiny.
awesome Pyrrha, and I was just like, and she made this great crown and like, yeah.
Okay, like 5 seconds. Like that was literally a foam crown I was not prepared for. Like I was trying to cram watch as many episodes as I could that week leading up to Emerald City because I'm like, I don't know anything about Ruby. I've never watched this show before. And so, oh man, that was such a mess. But I'm like, anything, just throw me in something. I'm an actor at heart. This is what I do.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh
and
my God.
it's fun because going back to the whole everyone has reasons for like different reasons for cosplay. Everyone has different reasons for choosing cosplays too. And sometimes you choose a cosplay because you get wrangled into it.
I'm
Yeah. There have been a couple cosplays that I've done not because I cared. Like I know this is gonna upset some people. I don't like Ruby. I'm sorry.
never seen
It's
it.
just it's too like
I've never seen it.
fast, slow. Like I can't stay
Yeah,
invested.
it's fine.
I cosplayed Salem specifically because all of my other friends had Ruby cosplays. And I was like, I'm going to hop on this. And then I never actually managed to cosplay with any of you.
I know.
Like you and
Oh,
I did a
yeah,
photo
that's
shoot,
right.
but none of the group meetups. I didn't make a single one. I built this character specifically to hang out with my friends, and I never got to.
I have to say that I used to have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, I was originally supposed to be Nora. Like I was the Nora of the group, and then like because it was so cold in Seattle, Sam's like, "No, I need a jacket," and I'm like, "Oh, I like just a school uniform. That's way too hot for me. So sure, I'll wear Pyrrha. It doesn't bother me at all." And now she's actually my favorite character of the whole series. So like, good fit.
Yeah, I used to have this really, really strict rule about not cosplaying characters I didn't know about or didn't have some sort of connection to.
I started with that too.
Yeah.
I quickly lost that.
but to like the opportunity to cosplay with people that I enjoy being with is what changed it.
Yeah, that's how I do too. Like I have Fallout cosplay. I have a couple other cosplays of things that like, I mean, I kind of know, but I don't know super well. And for me, it's like, I only do those things where I don't know the character if I'm in a group of other people that who know that character. And not that that's even a rule. Like you just do whatever the heck you want, obviously. But I think that makes it a little bit easier and a little bit less pressure. Cause also like when we're like doing a panel or something and they're like, oh, you remember when the thing and you got to do this one mission and the blah, blah, blah.
Yes,
And I'm
I
like,
do remember. And Lena's like, yes, yes.
It's like,
That was me on that Ruby panel. I was like, don't ask Salem any questions.
But it's great
I'm not
because
afraid.
everyone was so intimidated by her, they didn't care.
yeah.
They were like,
Yeah. All she had to do is like raise an eyebrow and they're like,
Yeah. But we do have a surprise for you guys when it comes out. We're working on some images that we did this weekend that has a lot to do with that whole like we don't know what we're doing, but we want to do it together.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun when you guys see that.
Let's just say the same dress was put on 3 different people. And then I'm going to have to find some way to bring it all together. Which is not going to be hard, but yeah.
So that was actually something I just thought of like last minute too. I'm like, hey, let's do this. And they're like, okay, yeah.
We made it work.
Well, we'll see if we made it work. We'll see if it worked in the end.
Girl, I am good at Photoshop. We made it work.
Yes, yes, definitely. Ben says, I did Dr. Freezer. Oh, Dr. Freeze. Sorry, my eyelashes are getting in the way. He said Dr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. Dr. Freeze.
See, this is how you know he doesn't know the character.
That's right.
Poor thing.
The only time I've ever cosplayed something that I didn't know was literally because of Sam. Like I'm usually pretty strict about that. Like I just prefer, just because like, the acting part of the character is what I embody the most. And so for me, like I need to know this character, which is why like I watched as much RWBY as I could before that panel. Like I caught almost all the way up to 4th season, which was out, like that was all that existed at that point. So I caught on fast. But like there is just kind of like a certain amount of fun that even if you don't know the character, like doing something with a group that I do it at least once, like as a cosplayer, like branch out, do something fun. Like if your friend wants to make you a doll, do it, let them. It's so much fun.
Yeah. That's how she became a Twi'lek. Like Lena was like, I was like, Lena.
Well, and Tiny Tina, that's one of my favorite ones to do because she's like freaking nuts. I am awful at video games. I love video games, but I watch other people play video games because I am not.
The cutscenes for Tiny Tina.
So I just watched all the cutscenes because they're like, oh, we're gonna do this Fallout group, and like, we're kind of thinking Tiny Tina for you. And so
Borderlands.
I'm sorry. See, I know things, but I watched every single like cutscene, everything. I watched tons of YouTube videos, and I watched them over and over and over again. And she was hilarious, and I'm like, yes. So even though I've never played the games, like. I feel like I do a decent job of embodying that character because I've at least
and like we put her in the Nuka-Cola girl for Fallout, and that character is nothing. She's literally just a billboard. So that was easy for her to just be like, I'm pretty. But I did the same thing because I did Teen Titans with my family. And last year, the year before, I had made everybody do Overwatch. So that was my thing. My sister's like, who am I? Symmetry? I'm like, no, Symmetra. So they did Teen Titans. And I was like, well, I've never really seen Teen Titans, but I know of the characters. And so I ended up with Starfire. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm like her. So while I was making it, I was watching it. I was like, God, I love it. So it's kind of nice how that helps you get into fandoms too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know way more Mortal Kombat jokes than I ever did. Like I'm going to, like, I love the fact that people love my Melina. I've never played Mortal Kombat. Like
not
maybe
even like ever,
like maybe like every so often go in there and button mash and stuff like that. But like grand total, maybe half a dozen times in my entire life. But wearing Melina and just being exposed to people going, oh yeah, I love when Melina, blah, blah, blah. Like I've learned more about the character. I still don't want to play the game, but like I enjoy the character and I knew enough. Because I cosplayed Melina, I enjoyed the Mortal Kombat movie because I knew all the jokes.
See, and that's the thing is like, okay, there used to be so much gatekeeping before, but now it's like both ways. Like I learned about some animes by seeing some people's cosplays. I'm like, oh my God, this is beautiful. What is it? I need to watch it.
Toilet Bound?
Right.
Yes, that's on my to-do list. This girl, one of the cosplayers that did our little, submitted the pictures. I'm like, what is that? Oh my God, the name. I got to watch it. So yeah, so I like that become a lot more acceptable these days because back then when I was a dinosaur, it was a lot more taboo.
You have to cosplay something you love. No, you don't. You can cosplay something because you like how it looks on you. You can cosplay something because your friends are cosplaying it. You can cosplay something because you know you can monetize it. Like the reasons for cosplaying something, there is no wrong cosplay. Except like if you're cosplaying something to offend people or just to get a reaction.
any kind of like that's intentional offense is not good. And
so as an example today, I'm on episode 23 of Mighty Nine. I am nowhere near the ending. I had just met Kaliana and I fell madly in love with her, and I realized that she comes in later and I don't have any of those spoilers, but like I was like, I got to that point. I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna cosplay this girl because I freaking love her. Like, I'm just barely the drop in the bucket for Mighty Nine. I have like hundreds of hours to go now, but like, it's so fun doing her. And even though I'm at the very like primal stages of the series, I love it. And Critical Role means so much to me. And it's been so fun. Like, even just throwing her on and doing TikToks, I'm like, I love this costume. I'm probably going to do it at a con because I'm so excited about this little piece.
I mean, it really is just like how it makes you feel when it comes down to it. Like,
so
for sure.
we're getting near the end. So we're getting close to the end. So we wanted to tell you about what we're doing next week. So next week, like we said, we're streaming for 4 hours straight from 9 a.m. Arizona time, which is what is it? MDT or ST?
MST or PDT.
Also PST 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Letting you all know.
9 a.m. Or all the way until 1 p.m. So from 9 to 10, we're going to do Getting Ready in Cosplay. And whoever wants to join us can, but basically Jess is going to be doing her makeup and I'm going to be putting on Spinel.
Yeah, I'll do
Steven
beauty.
Universe.
I'll just do some beauty makeup and she'll do the special
effects makeup. Well, just basically body painting. And then the next hour, we're going to be talking about materials with cosplay, and we'll have Novaroon join us, and whomever else is available during the CosTalk Live group will come in too and talk about like the different types of materials that are available, where we access them, why certain ones are better than others, stuff like that.
What we like to use the most.
Yep. And then from there, we'll move on to there's an ant in my cup.
Cosplay for TikTok.
TikTok versus Reels, I think is what we call it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the difference between TikToks and Reels, and how.
Do I have to be awake for that? Because I think of all of us, I'm the only one who
you
does
have to be on
TikTok.
camera.
I do TikToks. I don't have a whole bunch, but I have a good background with TikTok, so it's fine.
Yeah, and then the last one is going to be us talking about like cosplay from like level 1 to 100.
Yeah, from the beginning to going.
So all
infinity and
things,
beyond.
All of the things we'll talk about, like how to budget, how to plan, how to go to your first con, how to establish a cosplay group, lots of stuff.
So lots of questions. So even if you guys have questions about that stuff, like send them to us and we would love to cover them if within the time permitting. So definitely catch us on Twitch. We'll be streaming everywhere, but Anime Next is doing it exclusively on Twitch. But you can catch us on all the usual platforms.
YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, definitely if you can watch off of the Anime Next feed, that would help so that next year they might bring us back or what.
Yeah, clear the Anime Next feed to our page.
So try and watch off the Anime Next feed so that they go, oh, good stuff. And
they'll be streaming. They're doing like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're on Sunday. So they'll be doing stuff all weekend. You guys should check it out. So one question here from Veronecio on Twitch. When I hear cosplay, I think of video games and anime. Are there any cosplays based on more traditional books that you all have done? Is that even a thing?
Yes. So actually, that is the one cosplay that I'm planning on working on and getting my fiance into. Is I'm introducing him to the Dresden Files for the first time, and I have actually had a couple people roleplay cosplay as Dresden. But Karen Murphy is my favorite character out of all of fiction from the Dresden Files, and I've always meant to cosplay her. And I'm like, you know what? Now that my fiance actually is like totally into Dresden and wants to do Dresden, we're going to do that. And our friend Dawn has always wanted to cosplay as a Mordsith from the Sword of Truth series. But I'm
gonna lose my shit. I love that. I love the Mordsith so much.
I've seen Jim Butcher a number of times at different conventions. He's the one that writes the Dresden Files, and like you can tell when he's at a con because there's like multiple people dressed up as Dresden at that con. So absolutely, like you can go off of books.
And I'm from a podcast. There's one actual official art of this entire character. Like she only shows up in like 2 episodes, and so but it's a total podcast. Like there's no actual art, there's no videos, there's no like anime or anything. I also really love. I love seeing people cosplay from Once Upon a Time. That's one of my favorite. Like I guess it's a TV show, but like some of the original books and stuff. Like oh man, and anybody who does like Maximum Ride or Aragon or like I've seen some really cool cosplays from like classics from my childhood. If you do that, like do it. Like I love it.
You think of anime and video game because that's where it spawned from. So yeah, definitely anime, video games, sci-fi was the first world convention.
Actually, the very first costume ever created was based off of basically what we call podcasts, but a radio presentation. So they just used they just used the descriptions in that radio presentation and created their own vision of it.
But it's just that because anime and video game geeks are so like they're so dedicated to their fandom that was kind of how they got to the next step, and then it branched out to everything. So really, there's no rule.
Yeah.
There's no rule. You
I think
cosplay what you want.
The only issue you might have is a lot of people going, "Hey, who are you?" and then you
Yeah.
having to explain it. Like, I think that'd be the only issue
Yeah,
you might have. But look,
Yeah,
at
I
it,
get that a
you
lot
get
because
people into your favorite book.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
I cosplayed Holo from the novels, and yes, there is an anime out there, but I cosplayed the green version, which only exists in the novels. And so I do kind of get that feeling a lot where they're like, "Oh wait, you're Holo?" question mark, and it's just like you need
Here's
to
Star Wars aliens
inform them.
that have only appeared in one book. And then they decided to add illustrations to Wikipedia because people ask so many times, like, what do they look like? And so that literally I have this Wikipedia illustration and the book, and that's it.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, so definitely, if you have more questions for us, let us know. We're happy to. We'll definitely answer them in the on our planning cosplay panel.
Yeah.
But we got to wrap it up now, guys. We actually have to check out of our Airbnb like now. So thank you so much for joining us. And Kii-Chan, where can we find you?
So on Facebook, I'm Kii-Chan Cosplay, I think all one word. Instagram, I'm Kii-Chan_Cosplay, and then on the TikToks, I'm Tiny_Raincloud. You can hit me up with a message. I'm really slow. I'm sorry. I'm not a tech savvy human. But thank you so much for being on our stream. I hope to see you next week. I'm so excited about joining Anime Next. So thank you.
And Amber.
Hi, I'm Amber Brite, Brite, and I'm amberbriteprops.com. And then I'm Amber Brite Props on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And I enjoy TikTok a lot. So follow me on TikTok, please.
And Lena's like, really?
If you're absolutely bound and determined to tag me separately from Sam, which I understand because she's badass and you don't want to like take my half-ass cosplays and tag them. No, I'm kidding. But if you're bound and determined, I have put up Thermo Sidekick on a number of things, Facebook, Twitter. It is on TikTok too. And, a couple of those, Instagram. But I don't really check them and I don't post to them very often. So really just check out ThermoCosplay.com, and we're ThermoCosplay on all the platforms, anything from like even Discord,
Instructables,
Tumblr, like Facebook, like anything you can imagine.
Yeah.
She got it on the wrap.
Yes. And also, guys, mentioning Discord, we do have a CosTalk Live Discord.
We do.
We have a permanent invite link that I'll be sharing every so often. So, guys, join it. We're going to definitely try our hardest to be more active on that. And you can find me, JinxCosplay.com, or I am the Jinx Cosplay on social medias, Facebook, Instagram, etc., etc. So.
and she already said mine, just thermocosplay.com.
Yeah.
Just go there, it's easy.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight or Mountain Standard Time.
I'm gonna be tired. Just kidding. I'm up at 7 every
I'm
day.
tired. I get
I wake up at 6 every day. It'll be nice to sleep in.
I went to bed at 2:30 and woke up at 7:30.
I will be a
All right, guys. Bye. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.